Dr. Batiri, and I just want to spend a few moments on understanding how dietary matters can affect your cortisol levels in your body. So, sugary foods are the biggest culprit. When we eat sugary foods, when it gets into your system, eventually gets produced into just straight up glucose. Your pancreas will produce insulin, which will then try to get the glucose into cells for energy. And if there's too much sugar going on in the body, the insulin will begin to convert, eventually cause a conversion of the sugar, and eventually the sugar gets converted into fat, and your fat cells swell, and that's how we obviously gain weight. But in the process of trying to get the sugar levels down, the insulin will always drop your sugar levels slightly below what would be considered normal, which now kicks in the adrenal glands to produce the cortisol to counterbalance now the drop in sugar and now release sugar into the body from these cells and bring your blood sugar level back up so we can get some homeostasis in our blood sugar level. Now, when we have excessive sugar, especially spikes in sugar, like big meals that are high, eventually in their glycemic index, and your blood sugar goes up, your pancreas produces tons of insulin. Insulin drops the blood sugar, and then afterwards you feel like you're ready to go to sleep. But then your cortisol kicks in and brings the blood sugar up. Eventually, you're going to fatigue out your adrenal glands, and then the subsequent factor is that your body now produces excessive amounts of cortisol. I'm not sure if it's a defense mechanism or just the body now or the adrenal glands becoming fatigued, and this excessive cortisol in the system now in turn, aside from other factors causing you to gain weight, feeling fatigue, brain fog, etc. like that, it actually now lowers the effectiveness of your immune system. So there's a direct dietary relationship between a terrible diet and lowering your immune system, just from the fact of having eventually increased levels of cortisol in your system. Now, obviously, we need to come off the sugary foods, watch what we eat. We do some modest exercise in order to burn off some of the excess sugar that's floating around through our circulatory system, and that will increase the balance. Now, there's certain foods that are actually good for lowering cholesterol. Certain fruits like bananas have been proven to be very good for lowering cortisol. Dark chocolate, for those of you who need something sweet. Of course, drinking green tea has been noted to be very effective. And then yogurt, because of the probiotics in the yogurt. Now, I'm not 100% sure about the science that's behind these factors or the compounds that are in these elements of the foods that we eat, of how it exactly lowers the cortisol in your body, but it's healthful. So, you know what? Those are factors that we should add into it, and understand that the biggest thing you could do is not so much drinking tons of green tea and eating tons of dark chocolate to lower your cortisol levels, but more importantly, changing your diet not to stress out your adrenal glands that are very important in actually balancing out the levels of cortisol in your body. Okay? This was Dr. Batiri. Hope it helped. Have a good day.